Hello everyone, welcome back to another tactics session. It's been a while since I did any solving or even posted anything on YouTube. So yeah, coming back to chess tactics, chess.com tactics especially after a little break. Let's see how I do. So last time we had reached, or I had reached 2144 on the chess.com tactics trainer. So let's continue. You know the drill as usual. If you would like to solve yourself, feel free to pause the video whenever a new puzzle comes and try to figure out the solution yourself, and then you can continue the video and listen to what I have to say and how I fare with the puzzle. Okay, so it's black to move. First thing that comes to my attention is the position of this king, the white king. I think it's quite trapped in the sense that it literally has these two squares on g3 and g5 to go to. Every other square is covered by the black pawns and bishops. So that already gives me an idea of going rook g8 with the idea of playing for rook g4 checkmate. So that's very encouraging. Now let's imagine rook g8. Now what can white do to stop me from checkmate? If he promotes this a pawn, I don't think that stops me at all because I can checkmate him. So rook g1, he can sacrifice his rook, I can take it, and then even if he promotes, then I can still checkmate him with rook back to g4. Okay. I don't see. Okay, I see something. So white can possibly sacrifice this knight after rook g8. Knight takes e4, with the idea that if I take back, the king might be able to take back or something like that. But okay, rook g8, knight takes e4, rook g4, uh, still checkmate. So I think that looks good. Okay, he does the other sacrifice, which I didn't consider. So yeah, a little sloppy on my part. Now rook g4 will be met by king f5. Uh, so taking the knight seems to be the most obvious follow-up. And then again, other than rook g1, I don't see any way to stop mate. Okay, rook g1. Now he promotes and we checkmate white. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, black to move again. Yeah, as usual, feel free to stop if you would like. Stop the video, or pause the video rather. Okay, again we have a situation with a somewhat precarious king. Uh, the king literally has only this d3 square to go to. Every other square is covered. So, I mean, also of course I noticed that black is maybe a little bit down in material, or at least we don't have a queen. Okay, bishop h6 check. Bishop h6 check, of course, is an obvious candidate because it's a check and includes a new piece in the attack. So let's see, bishop h6 check. King d3 will be forced, and there he's able to go to c3 next, I notice, but okay, if I check him, that is. Okay, I see, I think the idea. Bishop h6 check, king d3. Now I have bishop e2 check, and he has to go to c3, king c3, and then knight to b5 check. So here, check, here, and then check, forking the king and queen and winning the queen. I think that should be good. Let's see if there are any other things. Can we improve this somehow? Can I play bishop e2 right away, trying to checkmate him? Then at a minimum he has f4, so I don't think that works that great. Let's continue. Okay, check, and now take this one. Okay, let's continue. Black to play. Yeah, feel free to pause. So this one, I think I noticed something right away. The knight and bishop are primed for a pawn fork, so they are one square away, like one file apart on the same rank. right? Hopefully those arrows made sense. Okay, so e5 comes to mind, trying to get this pawn all the way to e4. So e5, white can take or not take. If they don't take, they move the bishop. Then I go e4, and the e4 pawn. That's the basic idea, at least. E4 pawn is defended by my bishop and knight. But I just realized I don't think I have, and my queen, by the way. Oh, and my queen. Yeah, and it's also defended by white three times, and we'll be attacking, we'll be forking the knight on f3 and the bishop on d3. So e5, he can take with the pawn, or he can even play bishop g5. That's an interesting idea. e5, bishop g5, trying to pin this knight. Now if e4, uh, can he go knight takes e4? Knight takes e4. I cannot take with the knight in that case, because then the bishop on g5 would take my queen. So bishop takes e4, bishop takes e4, queen takes e4. Oh, yeah, it works. Okay. So looking at this, e5, bishop g5, e4, knight takes e4, bishop takes e4, bishop takes e4, queen takes e4, queen takes e4, knight takes e4, and I think I have emerged with a uh, extra piece. Uh, have I or no? Yeah, of course. Yeah, I have. Mm, okay. Other than that, after e5, if he goes bishop g3 or bishop h2 or even takes on e5, that's the other option. If he takes on e5, I take back with the d pawn. Then we get into the same position, I believe. I think this works. I'm going to play it. Okay, we are going down this line. And now, I did see this. I didn't mention it. But, I mean, my thought was simply that we'll recapture with the knight and keep the uh, defense of the e4 pawn. But briefly considering if capturing this bishop first makes any sense, I believe the answer is no, but let's see. So we already lost a piece, right? So in this very position, the material is white is up a piece. So if I take his bishop, he takes my queen. I take his queen. Um, and he runs away with his bishop on e7, let's say to h4. Then, yeah, I am not ending up with an extra piece. It's going to be equal. So take this way. And now take this guy. Okay, let's continue. Okay, some kind of a queen endgame. Black to play. Okay. First thing that comes to mind is whether a pawn endgame is good for me. Probably it is, because I'm just thinking about this simplifying idea. So check and take the queen. So check, king moves, doesn't matter where. I take the queen, he takes back. And then I can take on e4. So king takes e4, king f6. And right there, what would I do is the question. If I take on e3, he takes my e pawn, so it's a draw. So I have to play king d5 there to keep any winning chances. So king d5, white goes, white has to play king f5 more or less. Now I think I go, I'm not sure. Do I play e4? Let's see. e4. e4, and his king has to leave my pawn for a second. So, am I right about that? Yeah, e4. Let's say king g4. I have the time now to go king c4. Uh, king f4. King d3. Not sure. Not sure about this. Okay. So looking at something like this. Check. Let's say king moves. Take it. So we have traded queens. Now I take this pawn. Now he, to really have any chances, has to try and go to f6 to attack my e pawn. Now I shouldn't take the e3 pawn, because then it will be a draw. We would have no pawns left. So he's attacking my pawn, so I must come to d5. And pushing his e-pawn will not make sense. And moving the king um, away from my pawn also I don't think makes sense. For example, king g5, king e4, uh, I think more or less repeats the position, so it doesn't make sense. So king f5, I think. King f5, I was looking at e4. And now, oh, I just realized that may not be good for me because then king f4. E4 may be a blunder. King f4, and I'm definitely the one fighting for a draw there. So, okay, gotta come back to the drawing board. Hmm. Other than the pawn and game, what other options do I have? Um, Really not many. Like after checking with the queen, I can try to do something different, which I don't even know what that is. So I think the pawn and game has to be the direction to look at. I mean, worst case, I have a draw in my pocket, right? I can always take the e3 pawn and then I make a draw. So I'm never ever in a uh, danger of losing. I'm literally trying to win this. That's the thing for black. Black has a draw if he wants it anytime. So that's good. In a real game, that would give me great comfort, and I would try to spend the last remaining seconds of my clock time to try to calculate and find a win. So let's do the same thing here. So okay, let's assume we reach the pawn in game with the king on g6, and we just take on e4, and they go king f6. Now king d5, as far as I can tell, is forced to keep a winning chances alive, and king f5. Now, now, what's happening? e4, king f4, I thought is bad, and I am, that is definitely looking not good. What am I missing? Maybe this is what is up. Oh my god, this was obvious. I'm sure you guys watching think I'm so stupid, and you're not wrong. So okay, we trade queens. Then I take the e3 pawn. Of course, he goes king f6, and I take the e4 pawn, and I'm winning. Yep. Oh, that was too bad. Too bad of me to not see this obvious thing. Okay, fine. Let's keep going. Okay, so black to play again. Let's see what's happening. Interesting position. The bishop is hanging. Uh, my king is open. His king is extremely open. What's the material? I think white has sacrificed a piece, maybe, because I have an extra knight. Or no. Oh, they have a rook for a knight, so they are an exchange up, if I'm not wrong. Wow, okay. And some kind of queen b8 check might be unpleasant to face. I may have to play queen d8. I don't even know what else I would do. Moving up and allowing rook a7 doesn't seem wise. Okay, so whatever has to be done very urgently for black. I think that's my conclusion. Okay, so then queen e4 check comes to mind. Trying to do everything with checks. Taking the bishop directly with the knight, that's an option, but I highly doubt it, to be honest. Uh, at a minimum, he can take the knight back with queen b8 and take the knight. So I don't know if that's so great. So what are my options? Queen e4 check, queen b1 check. These two checks definitely are good, or an option. Okay, so let's look at queen e4 check. Queen e4 check, well, he can play knight e2, develop a piece, block the check, and I don't know how, like what I have achieved. Like seriously. I don't think I have achieved anything. So, or yeah, I don't believe that. Okay. So queen b1 check. Queen b1 check. This may be more interesting. So now his king has to go up because only other move is bishop c1, which is, of course, I take it with check. So king moves, after queen b1 check, king moves to either d2, e2, or f2. Okay. Okay, yeah, this looks encouraging. Okay, so let's say he goes to d2. Fine. So now after king d2, uh, I have knight e4 check, bringing the knight into the attack, so to say. Um, there he will have king to e3 or king to e2. Now king to e3. Maybe. Hmm, maybe queen e1 check or queen c1 check. Queen c1 check looks interesting. The idea is if the king goes to if the king takes my knight on e4, I can take on f4 with check. Okay. Queen b1 check. King f2 again. I have knight e4 check with maybe some follow up. King f3. Queen f1 check maybe. And if king e2 check, then maybe I can go queen e4 check. I'm going to start with queen b1 because I don't see another reasonable move, to be honest. So far so good. Okay. So knight e4 check would make sense. Queen c2 check, knight e2 doesn't make sense. Just I'm letting white develop and connect his pieces. So knight e4 check really the only thing that makes sense, and I have to keep giving checks. And I don't have time for any formalities or slow business. Okay. So far so good. Okay. Now I was thinking earlier when I was calculating queen c1 check, but queen e1 check is possible. But queen e1 check allows knight e2, even giving up a rook possibly on h1. But then I think I may get checkmated on the other end of the board. So queen c1 check. That's what I think. Let's see what else. Hmm. Hmm. Queen e1 check might be considered, could be considered too. Okay, let's look at queen c1. Queen c1 check. Now he can take on e4, or he can go to d4 or d3 or f3 or e2. Like so many options. Oh my god. Okay, so if he takes on e4, then queen takes f4 check. He can go back to d3 or come forward with d5. Coming down the board or up the board doesn't look wise, so he goes back to d3. And at a minimum, I have knight e5 check, and the attack continues, and I may be doing well. Um, so queen c1 check, king takes e4 does not bother me. Queen c1 check, king d3. King d3. Well, if king d3, then I can take the bishop with check. Knight takes f4 check. And don't know if it's too bad. Yeah, can't be too bad, I would hope. I'm going more by intuition here, which not a good way to calculate maybe, but okay. So queen c1 check looks pretty decent. Now, if king f3, then I have queen f1 check, I think. Now, queen e1 instead of queen c1. Queen e1 check. He can go to less options, maybe. Knight e2 is an option. f3, d3, d4 are options. Now, if d3, or rather, if f3, f3, if he goes to f3, maybe then I have queen f2 check. Now, next move I will take on f4 and I should be okay. So, queen e1 check, king f3, I'm not worried. So, queen e1 check, king d3. Now, what do I have? Again, I have knight takes f4 check. And the good thing about putting the queen on e1 is it protects my knight on e4. So that looks pretty nice. So knight e2 I think has to be played by white, giving up the rook on h1 if I want to take it. But I don't think I want to take it, so I will go queen d2 check maybe. Queen d2 check, he can take on e4. And I can take on f4 maybe. Somehow queen e1 looks better other than queen c1. Queen c1, I feel not sure. I'm not sure at all, and that's what I need to choose. Somehow it's tough. Okay. Queen e1, knight e2, queen d2, king e4, queen f4, queen d3, king d3, knight e5 check. King d2. No, there is no king d2. What does he do there? King c2. King c2. Not sure at all. Okay. Queen c1, king d3, or king e4. I feel, I don't know. If my knight on e4 is going to be taken, I would rather have this knight be on g1. So I'm going to play queen c1 and guess, and I'm wrong. And that is okay. Let's retry and play this. And then now, what's the right move? This is rough. This is really tough somehow. Okay. Queen d2. If he takes on e4, what do I even have? I'm not sure. Oh, I take on e2 then. Yeah. Queen f2. If he takes on queen d2, king f3, queen d3 maybe. Yeah, no, I'm not sure what to do here. Queen f2, king d3. Or king e4. King e4, I take the knight, so it becomes the same. After queen f2, I don't think I'm planning to trade queens. So, and taking the rook on h1, that's the only thing. But then queen b8, king d7, rook a7. I don't know. I'm going to choose one and look at the solution. Which one to choose? This. Okay, take this one. Okay. Okay, probably continue checking or no. Okay, what's the e5? Okay, no. Okay. Yeah, no, this is not a good performance by me. Okay, just show me the solution. Just yeah. Okay, where do I go? Okay, and now take this for check. Okay, and now what? Do I check again? Okay, I'm not sure what's going on. Do I check this again or check here? No. Okay, check this, and that's good for some reason. Okay, let's analyze that one. I clearly failed miserably. Okay. Okay, so queen b1, long solution that one, and yeah, somehow not super obvious. And here already I was so confused. Why is queen c1 so bad? Let's see, king e4, and I kept relying on this move. But is this bad? Apparently it is. 95 check. I'm just reading from the computer lines. Queen e4. So the king is running away. I'm guessing is the problem. Uh, okay, and the king runs away. Okay. So queen e1 is good, and black is apparently winning because of the solution. Okay, d2 check. Take this knight. Okay, we get this knight, so we are not dropping a piece. e5 check. Now you are not supposed to even take the bishop with check. Instead, this. Okay, and basically, I guess the point is in the final position, I'll be able to take the uh, rook on h1 maybe. What about this? I still can take, yeah, and queen b8, king d7. Queen takes e5, and this is apparently okay for me after queen b7 check. And I'm able to finally get my pieces out. Wow, that's deep. Okay, let's continue. Tough problem. How many people have got it? Well, nobody had got it, so I feel better about that. It has a pass rate of 0.0%. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so uh, what's happening here? Black to play. Okay, I noticed something. So I have knight c3 check. The point of that would be to open up my rook because his back rank is kind of weak, like really weak. So knight c3 check using the pin. King goes to c1 or a1. So let's say king c1, and now queen takes f1 check, knight takes f1, rook d1 mate, and that will be the same idea if king a1. So I'm pretty confident in this one. Okay, okay, some success. Let's continue. Okay, pawn end game. Sorry, black to play. Uh, so white pawns are coming down, our pawns are moving up. The king seems to be in the square of this g3 pawn. I am in the square of this pawn, but yeah, there are a lot of pawns going on, and yeah. Uh, so d4 check is one idea, basically trying to run my pawn, and if he takes, then I push with g2, and I will win. Uh, so d4 check he cannot take. Maybe he goes king f3, trying to take this guy. Then if d3, now if he takes this one, I have d2. And if he doesn't take, he can always push one of his pawns, but my pawns are on d3 and g3, and he's on f3. I'm threatening d2, g2. I think that should be correct. I don't see king moves being correct. So that's, and now I have to push this. Now I need to, I think, take a moment to stop his pawn. So I go king e7, he pushes this one, I push that one, maybe. Okay. Now I think d2, d2, b7, d1 check. So queening with check is very good. d2, king e2, g2, uh, b7. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see. Oh, I see. Then we go d1 check. Okay, this is nice. Okay. Yeah. So the point I was making was here at the end position. I think if he goes king e2, I go g2. Let's say he goes b7. Now I want to queen this one and give it up first so that I can queen the other one with check, and I'll be able to stop the pawn. Like, I don't have to do anything fancy. I can even come back and just take this pawn and win the game. Okay, let's continue. So white to play. So a queen trade has been offered. What's the material situation? I think it's more or less balanced, I would guess. Uh, yeah, I'm one pawn up, I think. Yeah, white is one pawn up. Okay, so what do I notice? I mean, this knight on d7 is attacked once and protected once by his queen. So it could be a tactical target. Uh, this bishop on a6 is kind of hanging out all by itself. Oh, having said that, I think I got the answer. So you take the queen, then take on d7, take on c5, check, which is a fork between the king and the bishop, and I take the bishop on a6 at the end, and I would have uh, traded uh, rook for two pieces and a pawn, which is plenty good. Okay, okay, let's keep going. Okay, white to play. Looks like some kind of a checkmating situation. I have a lot of pressure around black's king. Hmm. Okay. So the checks come to mind, of course. Rook f8, queen e8, queen f8, all those kind of moves. Let's see if any of them work. So queen f8, king rook g8 is forced. Do I have something nice? Maybe. Rook h7 in that position, king h7, and queen h6, mate. I think. I think this is mating. Okay. Okay, that boosted us quite a bit. Okay, that's good. Let's keep going. Black to play. Okay. Our rook just got attacked by the knight, but also this knight is unprotected, so maybe we can win it somehow. Rook takes e1 is always an option to. Oh, I think I see it, or no, I don't. Okay. Uh, okay. Okay, what's the material here? The material is I have two rooks, he has two knights for a rook. And what's the pawn situation? I am one pawn up. Okay, so I have a rook and a pawn for two knights. Okay, which is rough material equality. Okay, so then rook takes rook really looks like an interesting candidate. Basically, I'm trying to win one of these knights somehow, because both will be unprotected once rook takes e1 happens. So rook takes e1, king takes e1. Now queen c1 check. And what are his options? If he moves his king to f2, e2, That's possible, or queen d1 is possible. Okay. Now, if he goes to e2, then I can take the knight on g1, so that's nice. So he goes to f2. Now I have queen b2 check, forking the king on f2 and the knight on f6, which I will win, which is nice. So last option is he blocks with his queen on d1, and then I go queen c3 check, forking uh, the knight on f6 and king on e1. Okay, so this actually I'm not gonna spend too much time drawing arrows. Let's just play it. Check, check, and now this check and win this knight. Okay, we have reached 2200. Wonderful. Good time to stop this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my struggles with the tactics and maybe learned something. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.